What is up, everybody? You already know who it is. There's no need for an introduction, so let's just dive on right into this new news from Capcom about Street Fighter 6. Okay, the news is that we're actually getting dynamic controls, and what that means is basically is even somehow even more scrubby version of modern controls. The good thing is that thank God that this shit is only offline. This is only for offline play because they know they'd be pushing this too hard. So that's the good news. The thing is, I don't get dynamic controls. Honestly, like modern controls does this job enough of like getting like new players into the game and shit like that, right? I just don't see why that's necessary, to be honest with you. But this does lead me to an idea that I've been thinking about ever since I heard about like Street Fighter 6 coming closer and closer. Since we're getting dynamic controls, why not have the option to have hardcore controls? When what I mean by that is, why can't we have like an option for like the hardcore community that actually want to crank the difficulty up to the maximum? Kind of like how you had like plinking and fucking one frame links, like from Street Fighter 4, right? Why not just have that and add that option to Street Fighter 6? People can go like, well, one frame links or combos are always too hard, so I don't see what's the point. Like, okay, this is an option, like how you would say, like for dynamic controls, why can't it be the same thing for the hardcore community? And I think that would be dope. You have the classic, you literally have every class of fucking fighting game player in Street Fighter 6. You'll have like the good players, you'll have like the players that are trying to learn but they want to learn at a different pace, and then you'll have the scrubs that just want to button mash, and then you have the hardcore audience. Like that's 4 different categories of fighting game players right there. So with that being said, why not have that option for the hardcore? Because I know there's a lot of old school players that wanted to actually get back into Street Fighter. They came from that era where they built this shit from the ground up. I would love to see that. I would love to see people like Short Fuse, like people like that, real old school players that have been in this game for years. Almost basically since like Street Fighter was even a thing. Or like KOF and shit like that. So why not have that option for those type of players in Street Fighter 6? Since they want to make this game as inclusive as possible, make some room for the hardcore too. Now, and I also want to talk about the parrying system, like how I would imagine it for the hardcore controls, if that ever happens. I highly doubt it, but let's just say that it does, right? How I would do the parry system for hardcore, it's like when you actually hold the buttons for like the parry stance, you actually have to manually tap it with the analog stick, like how you would do with Street Fighter 3, for example. Which I think would be a really good idea. You have to manually do it. Sure, you might have to hold the buttons for the stance, but it's not going to parry for you. Like it should only allow you to be in that stance, but you have to manually parry and shit like that. That would bring so much more hype than like you just doing like holding down 2 buttons and then just parrying everything. I think that would be awesome. I think that would literally make Street Fighter 6 perfect if they had that option for those kind of players, myself included. Now the dynamic controls, like yeah, they could be fun like when you're playing at a friend's house and shit like that. That's cool. But I always wanted to learn things the old-fashioned way, pretty much. I didn't want to take no shortcuts to some bullshit. Why should I take shortcuts when people that are better than me didn't have to take shortcuts? So I'm not doing that. That's not my style, and it never will be. But hopefully we can get more into the right direction with Street Fighter 6. Right now, I don't like dynamic controls. Hell, I don't even like modern controls. I still say this game is way higher quality than Street Fighter 5 will ever be. And the main reason why that is because they're actually releasing this game as a game. If anybody remembers Street Fighter 5's release, It was awful. It was inexcusable. But yet somehow, some people were still trying to make excuses for that game. Even at that terrible state that it was. And don't get me wrong, don't get it twisted. Street Fighter V is still dog shit. It's just more expensive and it got way more DLC. That's it. But other than that, I will take the option for easier controls existing in a game versus like only one way to play it, and then like the balance is completely broken. You gotta be afraid of crush counters and feed triggers like you would in Street Fighter V. So I'd much rather take the simple controls being in the game versus like feed triggers and stuff like that, where somebody can just get a comeback on me just because they can just press a button and have a character that's gonna make you scared shitless to press one. So that's my initial thoughts on that. But also, here's a little something extra for you guys. I'm gonna start doing some different shit for my channel and shit like that too. That's the reason why I haven't been uploading much. And I'd rather upload something that's truly quality and like something that's actually worth a damn to watch than like just putting up the same old content, the same old style every day. Like every time I upload, if you get what I mean. So that's that. And just keep a lookout. It's gonna be a while, and I'm kind of like low-key taking a break, but hey, it is what it is. Okay, and I'll catch y'all guys next time. Y'all take care, and that's about it. Peace.
To sell what it sounds like, but we dealing with music. So what I did was I said, all right, look, I'm gonna come with the angle of it don't matter what I look like, you know, it don't matter what the artist look like, it's more what the artist sound like. So the mask really represents the whole, like, to rebel against trying to sell the product as a human being, you know what I mean? It's more of a sound, so, you know, and at the same time, it's something different, you know what I'm saying? And it fits with the theme of the rebel, the villain, where, you know, to him, he don't care about the fame and all that shit. That shit is, there's no consequence, you know what I mean? It's more of the message of what's being said. So I think it helps people focus